Attention, you are now listening to a Final Level podcast with Ice-T
and McBenzo.
If you are offended by words like shit, fuck, ass, low motherfucker, whatever,
stop this podcast now.
And by the way,
this is the hardest podcast on earth. Yo, what's up out there? This is Ice-T.
And the infamous McBenzo.
And we back, baby. This is podcast number 40. Mick,
Yo,
man.
This shit is like a bottle of wine, man. It gets better. It ages real good. Like 40 years old wine is the best shit you can get. So this might be one of the best podcasts we do this goddamn year, baby.
Now, people have been talking to me. They say you're putting words in the dictionary left and right.
Yeah. Because
they loving the words. You're breaking out. It's crazy.
Listen, for the simple fact, Webster Dictionary ain't the only goddamn dictionary in the building. Mictionary has its own words. So you can put them up. You can go to Ice-T. FinalLevel.com, send some words in. I might put you in my Mictionary.
I can't wait for some tonight. It's incredible. But, I just want to thank all the listeners, all the people that have been podcasting with us out there for all these, it's been over a year now.
It's been 2 years we've been doing it.
And now we're at the Loudspeaker Network.
Oh, yeah, my man Chris Marin, that kid Tim is a motherfucker.
You're over here with Combat Jack and the rest of the clique.
Yeah.
Everything is wonderful. And we still talking shit and doing what you can do nowhere else but at a podcast, and I commend everybody for tuning in with us. Last week was crazy.
Oh, that shit was unbelievable.
The incredible Pimpin' Ken, a.k.a. Kenny Ivy.
That shit was... No, but that book for real, that shit is powerful, B. It's got some shit up in there.
Yeah, The Art of Human Chess. You better learn how to play chess.
Ooh.
I've been playing chess for a long time. That's why I be outsmart niggas. When you get ready to fight with your girl, let me teach you a quick chess play. Whenever you getting ready to get in an argument or you got to think every question she might ask you. Then you got to have an answer for every one of those potential questions. Then you have to have audibles. Like if she says this, then I'm going to say that. And then you know what they say in poker, when the girl's holding all four aces and you ain't got no hand, what you do?
You bluff.
You flip over the table. That's when you got to say, bitch, what you talking about? And you run out the room and you regroup your shit. If she catch you, got to, hold up. You don't stand there and stutter. I can't even deal with this bullshit. And you leave and you regroup. But this is the art of human chess, and that's fighting with. Luckily, I don't have to fight with my wife.
No, you don't.
I got a good thing going. Everybody out there that's been following me, Coco's very pregnant, about to have the baby December 24th.
Ooh.
Well, between the 15th and the 24th.
It could go early, because then one of your co-workers just had hers a little earlier, right?
Yes, Kelly Giddish from SVU had her baby, a beautiful baby boy named Ludo, and the shit is fly. You know what I'm saying? And me, at this point in my life, what is really going to excite me? This really has me excited. Got me on my toes about, niggas back at the gym. I got to say thin in the waist, handsome in the face. You know what I'm saying? I got to be ready for my little girl when she comes out, Chanel. And, there's a lot of shit me and her got to do. So I got to stay around here.
I like that.
That's what's up. But today, in the building, we got special guests. Now, we do hip-hop sometimes. We do everything. But this is like a legend, especially in New York hip-hop. Why don't you break it down, man?
Oh, man. The gentleman that's up in there, I'm not going to say his name just yet, but a lot of y'all grew up on him. He broke a lot of artists before radio even thought about doing it. Before radio even thought about doing it, this man physically, single-handedly, with his crew,
True.
He did his damn thing. I'm not going to say his name yet because y'all got to wait up for all that, man. Y'all have to wait. Plus, we got another guy.
Directed one of my videos.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I think I was in that one, too.
Yeah,
and my man B.O. was in there, rest in peace.
Yeah,
man.
That's what's
man.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the first, man. You guys watching TV out in New York City, you had a different type of situation. We had MTV on the West Coast, but whenever I came out here, I was tuning in.
But he was before all that, y'all.
Before that.
MTV and Yo MTV Raps and Ed and Dr. Dre. This man was first.
Well,
okay?
break it. What's the name of the show?
Oh, shit, video music. That's that video music box, baby.
Do it again.
In the building, the one and only Ralph McDaniels.
Ralph McDaniels.
What's up, y'all?
All the way from Brooklyn.
And once again, I always say the same thing. Whenever we have guests here, we doing the podcast. The podcast is free. This is strictly love. These are people we know, friends that show up. And I always tell them, Ralph, I say, Ralph, a friend is not somebody that comes to you when you throwing a party. The friend that shows up to you in the, when you in the parking lot with the pistol. You know what I'm saying? When you make that call,
hand.
and Ralph has always been a solid dude, and the fact he's here.
Uncle Ralph put a lot of people on for television just doing that show he was doing, and it was in Brooklyn. But see, I'm from the Bronx, so I.
Oh, there you go.
All right, I'm going to give Brooklyn that love, man, because he used to be a DJ one time. Were you a DJ before you was doing video music box?
Yeah, I used to do it in the park, man, plug into the light post and all of that, man, sound systems.
And you found out the Bronx was really busting your ass, so you found something else to do. You found something else to do.
There go Mickey with that monkey shit.
Hold up.
See, the difference between Brooklyn and the Bronx is the reggae. We had it going on heavy out there. Y'all got it going on out there now.
A ragamuffin?
Yeah. And so we was rocking
Selector.
Bring
it down.
That rolling bass, that's what I called it, man. That was the difference, man.
But that shit wouldn't work in the parks all day, and it wouldn't work in the clubs, so you had to go do video.
Nah, the Jamaicans just started sticking everybody up, man. So we had to roll out of
See, that's Brooklyn. Crooklyn, better known as Brooklyn, baby. But yeah, Uncle Ralph's in the box.
EPMD say, niggas! Turns the party out. Niggas. And then also in the house, one of my good friends, one of the behind-the-scenes cats in hip-hop, a manager, Akumo D, for many years, and just been in the hip-hop business, helped me work on one of my albums, the gangster rap album, recently. LeVaba's in the building, man. He goes by one name. LeVaba, what's happening, baby?
I'm hanging, man.
I remember.
Maybe LeVaba didn't want to let people know where he was.
I just want to I'm going to give one little short story, man. I was.
Why it got to be a short story?
I was hanging out with my man.
What are you trying to say? I'm sure.
I was hanging out with my man Greg, right? Greg Maris from the EBC, right? He said, "Yo, Mick, man, we got this party we're going to go to, man. It's up in this club, this spot called Alpine." I'm like, Alpine? I said, rich folks live there. Nah, for real, man. We're going to go up there. You know the dude that owns the house. I'm like, I don't know nobody that live in Alpine, man, but LeVaba.
I
guess it was you.
Behind the table. LeVaba does things like that. So we got Ralph McDaniels in the building, my homie LeVaba, that's got stories upon stories. You back with Mo D now, right?
Yeah, back with Mo, working on a new record.
That's what's up. That's up. But we gonna talk about that old shit you did downtown.
Oh,
we aired that shit out.
He don't like that Macklemore. I thought that motherfucker boy was doing something.
No. Let me get it right.
Right.
I not just in Macklemore. I think Macklemore did a very honorable thing.
Okay.
Putting down Grandmaster Melly Mel, putting Kumo D, putting Grandmaster Caz. These are my mentors. These are people that brought me from the West Coast into New York hip hop with open arms, no hate, just love. Okay, Macklemore, good look. Whack record, okay? That's all.
Downtown!
I agree with you.
Hey, you got all that heat. You got all that heat. You could have made a really dope record.
Uncle Ralph, you wouldn't have played that on Video Music Box?
But the video is hot, though.
I played the video on the strength of, our brothers, Mo D.
Thank you.
Who was that dude screaming?
That's Eric. Eric is in a rock group. You know how Seattle always have rock groups.
Nigga, I'm in a rock group. That shit ain't rock, nigga.
Eric is in a punk rock group.
No, rock don't sound like that. Rock sounds like rock is. I'm in a heavy metal band.
That was punk rock. You're right, punk rock, right?
Punk rock.
Me and Mickey was out on tour with Cannibal Corpse.
I forget the name of his band. His band is doing okay.
That's punk rock.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not
punk
even punk
shit.
It was a tribute to 80s rock.
That's more 80s rock.
Yeah, that's what it was. The record was about 80s rap meets 80s rock. That's what explained the tight pants.
That nigga was singing like Steve Perry or somebody from Journey. Like, I know rock. I know my rock, but that was not the rock.
The remix is coming. The remix is coming.
Yeah. You got
wait a minute.
The next
Uncle Ralph, you remixing
but
it?
Respect to Macklemore out there for putting the homies in the game. Fuck all the bullshit. We can make jokes.
And it's getting a lot of airplay.
And got him on the award show, and that was love.
Yeah,
and
they're doing Italian VMAs next week.
See? Let me shut up.
16 on the pop charts.
Okay. The record's moving. The record's moving.
16 million views on the Jimmy Fallon show.
Yeah.
20 million views on the video.
Yeah.
Let me shut the fuck up.
It's a good neighborhood.
That's not bad.
It's a beautiful day.
So we're going to talk a lot about that. So what we do on this podcast, we just chop it up, and then we'll go into the interviews. You ready, Ralph?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's roll.
This is news. So the most I guess the most current thing that's happening in news is the Million Man March.
Mm-hmm.
The Million Man March. Did any of y'all make it? I went to the first one. I went in 95.
went to the first one. I didn't go to this one here for some reason. I didn't make it.
I didn't make it. I watched it. I watched it on C-SPAN. I thought it was interesting. I thought that he brought a lot of people up. There was a couple of contradictions in there, but it's our brother Farrakhan. He getting older and stuff. I let him slide on that.
Right.
But I thought he did a good thing. He had the Indians up there.
Respect.
I love him.
He had the Spanish folks up there. He had the Haitians and the Dominicans up there. Right. I dug him for that right there. What's going on down there? And he brought the family up. He discussed the whole issue of Malcolm X and him having something to do with the assassination and all that.
That cloud is over his head forever.
Yeah.
That's cold. Who else spoke?
Who else was up there, man? Some young people, some young groups.
I would have liked to speak at the Million Man March. You know what I'm saying?
In.
I really should have got myself together and got down there and got on top of that. The homies called me from the West Coast. They said, Ice, you going to the Million Man March? We going to go. Because, coming from California to D.C. is a big move. Mm-hmm. So they was asking, now this might sound corny, but I was on some family shit that day.
No, that ain't corny.
I had a baby shower,
shit.
that if I didn't make it, would have been like a million niggas running out of my house with cocoa. She was like, nigga, you gonna be there for that,
Well, I gotta admit,
I was there.
Universal Zulu Nation did go.
I saw
Bambaataa took a few of our Universal members down there. I didn't make it, but we always gonna support Farrakhan, man. He said some great things, and again, you don't have to believe or trust everything. Just take what you like out of what he says. We're not telling you we're not doing anything to brainwash you, but Farrakhan is very powerful for us.
The simple fact he can get that many people together, and I was back in the day when I got in trouble with Cop Killer, I was invited to Honorable Elijah Muhammad's house in Chicago, and I sat with Minister Farrakhan and we talked.
You and Cube,
me, Cube, Chuck, and Sister Soldier.
And matter of fact, when we did the Cop Killer, remember Farrakhan literally had FOIs at a lot of our shows, so we wouldn't get no discrepancies with the police.
Well, no, I mean, he reached out to me. He said, Ice, I see you in need. Let me give you some game. Mm-hmm. And he told me straight up, if you stand in the middle of the street, expect to get hit by that car. That record was not subliminal. It was blatant. And, freedom of speech, watch what you say. Mm-hmm. If you... What I learned from that is if you attack somebody, you have to be prepared for the counterattack. You can't come out and say something negative about gay people and then don't think gay people will attack back. You can't come out and say something negative about women, and they will. If you say something bad about the police, they will attack back. Mm. Don't just think because the word free speech, there won't be repercussions for what you say. I say you can't go home to your wife and say I fucked your sister. Free speech. There's going to be a ramification. I actually didn't prepare myself for making that record, what was going to happen. And then also, I sat with him and I told him, I said, well, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not very religious. And he said, but Ice, we're all spokes on the wheel and we're all trying to get to the same thing, which is uplifting each other. So, unconventional problems need unconventional tactics. Mm-hmm. If you were part of the nation, a lot of your tactics you couldn't use. Maybe the profanity, we need you as a soldier on the outside. We coming this way, but we're all aiming at the same place. And at the end of the day, he said, you're righteous. Mm-hmm. You are a righteous brother. Mm-hmm. You mean the right thing. Mm-hmm. And he gave me his blessings, and I got to respect him. He also told me eagles fly alone. He said, you're either very crazy or very powerful, and I bet on powerful. So, somebody like that meant a lot to me in my life. I mean, the thing of it is when you deal with powerful people, like Ralph says, you don't have to agree with everything they're saying, but you have to respect the power and the integrity of them speaking.
That's what I say about speeches. You don't have to believe everything that he says. Take out what you want and keep what you want, because we're not trying to brainwash you. We're not doing no Jim Jones shit around here.
If you don't get anything, get motivated enough to get behind that mic your damn self.
As you say, black lives do matter, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
believe that's a good saying, but we always say all lives matter. But you made a point earlier. Black lives really matter.
Well, no, see, the point is this. Like, right now, there's a movement going on called Black Lives Matter. That's a very important statement because we've always known that white lives matter. It's never been doubted. But when white people say all lives matter, it's like me, a woman saying woman rights, and I go human rights. I'm diluting what she's really saying. And when you see white people wearing shirts that say Black Lives Matter, you'll say you're on the team. You're with what's right now. Wearing a shirt that says White Lives Matter, it's not needed because it's never been a question in this country.
Setting.
That's right.
Yeah, it's what it is. But the movement of getting the races together and getting people to stand for each other, at some point, white people need to step up and say, Black Lives Matter.
They're doing it, though. They are doing it. But some people, even my show, Law and Order SVU, they had the headline, All Lives Matter. And I had to break it down to them. I said, that sounds right to you, but it's diluting the message. The message is black people are saying, hey, give us some respect. I mean, come on. At this point in the world, can white people say, you know what, Black Lives Matter? And that will join us together in a way you could never imagine. Those shirts on black people don't matter. Those shirts matter when they're on white people.
Well, there's a lot of issues that Black Lives Matter brings to the light. You know, education. When you go through the criminal system, you know, just the way the system is set up right now, it's not in our favor.
No, sir.
That's for sure.
It's
so
just
that's
us.
The issues, right, that Black Lives Matter is bringing to the table. Because if you're white, you're not thinking about that right now, you know? But when we go into court, we know exactly how it's going to work out. We're going to have to plea bargain, which is, you know, the worst thing ever. You know?
And how most cases are solved, how most of them resolved through plea bargain.
Yeah, and that's just, it's not fair. So that's what Black Lives Matters is bringing to the table is issues. It's not just about, you know, don't shoot us. You know, I was in Jersey the other day and I saw Blue Lives Matter with a big shield on it. I'm like, yeah, okay, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
They do.
Yeah. But for us, we have to, you know, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And that's the way white people look at it.
But see, the thing of it is Blue Lives Matter is okay, but it can't be as a result of Black Lives Matter. It's not a way of saying, you know, hey, it shouldn't be a reaction to that. It's just the honest truth. Yeah. So if somebody's wearing White Lives Matter, okay, I understand that. But if you're wearing that as a reaction to Black Lives Matter, you're really saying, fuck what y'all talking about.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck what y'all talking about. I think right now, truthfully, we're in a very interesting point in the country, you know, after having a black president, that the racial shit is really very close. You know, everybody, you know, and I always told them, I said, hip-hop was the number one thing at bringing this country together racially. You know, Obama's the first hip-hop president.
Not the country, the world.
The world. Yeah, without hip-hop is what allowed the white kids to listen to me to grow up and vote for Barack Obama. Unfortunately, now we found out as black people that no matter who is president, they ain't running shit. They not running shit.
But while we on that subject about Barack Obama, what I do like about him, he stood up and he says as a clemency, what he's going to do is he's going to allow federal prisoners that's been locked up for drug trafficking with nonviolent issues, he's going to get them out of jail. He's going to cut their sentences because some of those sentences was too rough. They was 20 years, then they was 25 to life, 35 to life, and all you was doing was drug trafficking. There was no violence involved in it.
Selling weed, whatever, coke,
exactly.
whatever.
And that federal pen, the judges was slamming these kids, and most of them, once again, are black. Most of them are black.
But that's
most of the women were black. I'm not saying that Barack is only saying that black lives matter. He's saying that he's got to do something because he see the way that they were being treated in that system, as you said. Not justice just for us when we walk in there. So he's going to let, like right now in the month of November, 46 federal prisoners out. And he's going to do about, I think about 6,000 prisoners he's going to give a clemency.
Let me tell you like this. That's a nice gesture, but once they start privatizing prisons, once prisons started popping up on the stock market, you know, it's a business now.
They need clients.
You know, you're housing people. So, you know, there's so much money moving around behind all these problems. You know, they're talking about, Obamacare. Why don't we talk about the drug companies and how they are hustling and lobbying to keep people sick so they could just keep selling their shit. You know, there's so much corruption going on behind the scenes. And I honestly think, you know, people diss Barack Obama. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, who's next? Good luck. You see that clown show, the Republican debate was like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like,
well,
what the fuck?
You know what, maybe Two Ice? They've been watching a lot of Narco. That's where the drugs come from. I finally got a chance to watch it. Boy, is it mean.
Yeah, well, you know, they
and that's where the product is coming from, though. I'm saying from Colombia to here. How do we get it, and we can't even get on a goddamn plane with a key in your pocket unless you take it out your pocket? How are they getting this product over here? And then you are locking up, as I call the gophers.
So, you know, I mean, we could sit up and talk, you know, the social political breakdown and shit, but God bless Barack Obama. He made it in and out. Hopefully he'll be alive on the way out. The only thing Barack Obama did for sure was he ramped up racism to an all-time high.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never been a president with more death threats, and, you know, I think he gave us a good look at the country.
Hey, Barack, man, I appreciate that presidential clemency for them people, man.
I
appreciate that.
I just want to hook up with Barack when he gets out the fucking White House. That would be my ultimate interview, just to chop it up with him, because then his tongue won't be tied, and he'll be able to say what the hell
really went on.
Because none of us even know what it's like to run a fucking television network, more or less. You don't know what it's like to run a hospital, Mickey.
No,
we don't know what it's like to run General Motors. So to us to sit back and think we know what it's like to run this country. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, just imagine how his girl feels. You know, she probably like, man, is this almost over, man? Can we get out of here?
Yeah.
And the kids.
But they did 2 turns, baby. 2 turns, baby. I'm happy for that, man. He did it twice. I mean, Barack did a good job. He did the best that he can do. Yeah. How about that?
But in news, you know, it was the anniversary of the
Million Man March.
All we really saying as black people is, look, we just want it to be fair. Black people don't hate white people. We don't want nothing that doesn't come to us. We want to earn everything. We just want it fair, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're just in yourself, then there shouldn't be a problem. You know, that's all people are asking for is equality.
And I think on the other hand too, we got stop as far as the black community, stop acting like niggas. I tell my man all the time.
Say it again.
Stop acting like niggas.
Correct.
You know. And, I tell the young boys, I see them pull up and they double parked outside. I said, this is not 1986, dog.
Right.
Go park your car at the parking spot, man. Stop acting like you crazy,
problems.
man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's the cats watch. I don't know where they get this from. They maybe they watching us, watching TV or something like that, movies, and think it's like, we pulling up and it's all like, it's a movie. I'm like, dog. You're going to get yourself in trouble. You blocking traffic. Come on, the white people looking at you crazy. Look behind you.
And then here we go. This leads into the prison system.
That leads into the confrontation that you say you didn't want.
And you're in the prison. Now, here's the new thing. Mm-hmm. When I used to hustle, you could bail out of jail. You could do something crazy and come home. Now, once you go, you ain't coming out. Like they're not letting you out. They got 3 strikes laws. They got all this kind of stuff. And once you get stuck on that side of the system, good luck. You know how many people we used to bail out? What's your bail? 50,000. I got that. What's your bail? 100,000.
Yep.
Now get caught with a bullet. It's $500,000. It's like nobody can reach you. It's like you're gone, and how many of my homies got life all day? In L.A., on West Coast, they call it the LWOP. Life without possibility of parole. You got the WAP. And they hitting them left and right with it. So my point is this. If you in the streets and you still want to act niggerish and wild, if the motherfuckers get you, you not getting out. So for no other reason other than being alive and safe, don't think the system is set up to return you back into it again.
It's
so
a
you
revolving
need
door.
You need
no, it's not a revolving. It's a one-way
door. It's a one-way door.
I got. Let me tell you something. I got pulled over and I had a suspended license. Didn't know it, and I had the money in my wallet to bail out. And it's like one of the officers like, well, let him pay his own bail. Do you know they kept me 24 hours and my brother had to come and bail me out? And it was like $200. It was the price of the ticket.
Dude, they locked me up for something called an insurance lapse because I moved my cars from New York to New Jersey, and I had New Jersey insurance. It didn't show up on the New York computer, and he could have wrote me a ticket. He arrested me. They trying to put fools in jail.
Yeah.
And I play a cop on TV. Cops don't get raises for letting you go. They get points for putting you away. So they trying to get paid. Everybody's trying to get paid. Hey, listen. Let's get, like Rodney King said, can we just all get along? Can we all just get along?
And that was news.
Yo, this is Ice-T and the infamous
McBenzo.
And this is Movies. This nigga Mickey don't go to movies. You go to movies, Ralph?
I went to the movie. I just saw Martian.
I heard that is dope.
It's a nerdy kind of movie. You know, if you ever, it's like the future. If you in trouble and you want to figure out how to get out, you make sure you take care of your science and your your chemistry and all that kind of stuff, because it reminds you of all of that stuff that you learned in school and you better you forgot about it. And stuff like that's how space is gonna be. You better remember all of that stuff. But it's very.
I liked Interstellar. Did you see that?
I love that movie. I love that
Interstellar
movie.
was
great.
dope. Martian. Yeah, it's from what I understand, it's about a guy who got left on Mars, right?
Yeah. His crew, they were over there doing some work, and then something happened. It was a storm, and then he got knocked off into the wind or something. They had to leave. The time was up, and they left him. He was out cold, and then he woke up and.
To see what it is, people that listen to the podcast, they rather get the hood review. They like how we break the movies down because they gonna go see it and they read in the press and they don't get it and they get 1 or 2 stars. They're more into us. I seen this movie, so is it approved?
It's all right. It's Matt Damon. I dig, and that's why I wanted to check him. I like his movies and stuff. But in the real. It's but life is about the nerds, because people were laughing next to me and I didn't know why they were laughing.
Right.
Couldn't understand the humor.
They was getting jokes.
Couldn't understand the humor.
Huh? Feeling kind of out of place.
See,
I got to go see this movie.
Number one box office this weekend. It came out at $37 million, so it has to be a goddamn good one.
I want to see that, and then I saw Sicario with Benicio del Toro.
I love him.
Oh my God, this is about a hitman. He's what it is, basically, without giving the movie away, the CIA is trying to take down this cartel dude, and they got Benicio with him. And you don't know why he's with him, and they're just trying to get to the other side of the Mexican border. When they get there, they kind of let him go, and he goes on a mission because he's out to kill the main boss. And he goes into hitman mode. It's a cold dinner scene. I don't want to give up, but it's highly approved. If you like that slow burn movie where you just are trying to figure out what's going on, and it shows you how the CIA can, from satellites, look and tell how many people are in your house.
It's real.
Oh, track your punk ass. You think you creeping. You looking in your rearview mirror. Nigga, they in space. Nigga.
Open the sunroof.
They watching your shit. They cut your car off. Bloop. And I mean, you don't want to get on the grid like that, but that movie was dope. And then also we saw Everest. Mount Everest. The whole movie you saying, why in the fuck are these motherfuckers on this mountain? Everybody on the mountain is dying. It's snowing. It's cold. I was in the movies cold, Jack. I'm in the movies yo, I'm stressed out, son. I'm like, yo, this movie, what is going on? And there's a part in the movie where the guy goes, so why do you want to climb it? And nobody even in the movie, the actors didn't even have a good answer. They were like, because it's there. I just have to.
It was in 3D, though, right? It was in 3D.
Dude,
I gotta say this. I bet it wasn't no black guys climbing that shit.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yeah,
You don't like nothing cold.
It's funny, though, because people always ask me, like, when I'm acting and stuff, and it starts snowing or raining, and I start bitching, I say, I got the bitch to stay warm, and I tell them, I got in show business for luxury. I got in this for conditioned air, hotel suites, limousines. I did not get in this to run around in New York City 30 below zero, freaking my black ass out. But, I just seen another movie coming out with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it looked like he was in this, like some wild men in the snow.
I got to ask a question. How the hell you see all these movies and you working, from 6 to 10 at night every night? What movie theater you go to that's open at 12 o'clock?
I go to the movies sometimes at 10 o'clock. Look, dude, I work hard, but I get what I got to get in. I don't pay attention to niggas calling me on the phone because that's what they want to fucking do.
Okay, that explains the voicemail.
When people call me up and they like, yo, I'm like, I'm going to do what I got to do, what I want to do first. And if I got some free time, I'll do what you want to do. So I get my movies in. I get my time to play my video games in. I get my time alone with my family. That's just as important as the work. So, yeah, I go to the movies. Me and Coco go to the movies on Sunday. Sometimes we see 2 movies, but that's like one.
You do the old school shit? You buy one movie and go on the next one free?
Steal movies. I haven't done that. I've done that. Nigga, come on. I've done everything. Every crime. I mean, I'm the nigga used to, they bought the one ticket, then I let everybody in.
Back door?
Back door. Hit the back door. We used to go to the movies and dare niggas to go up in front of the screen and break dance. Like, we be like, I dare you, right in the middle of the movie, just go up in front of the movie, start popping right in front of the screen.
See, this is Ice-T and McBenzo's podcast number 40. You don't get this kind of shit just watching TV. You got to tune into the podcast.
Think about it like this, right? Right now, music is going in a different direction. There's only a few things that you can do for entertainment. I don't really club that much. I go out to clubs when I do appearances and shit. I go to restaurants and I go to movies and I do concerts. Occasional concert if somebody comes stupid. Movies are a way to get out of the house and just do something. Me and my wife have date nights. We say, let's get dressed up, let's get sexy, let's go out. Got to do it every now and then. So I like my movies. You know what I'm saying? The shits is $20 now.
Yeah.
You go to the
pretty expensive.
Do you go to the movies with the dinner though?
I've been to them.
Yeah, I went to one the other night. I was shocked because I was like, how much it cost?
But they got the big chair.
Yeah, they got the big chair, but I slept in a dresser drawer till I was 20, so the chair don't matter.
But what kind of dinner?
They bring food.
I had shrimp. Yeah.
They bring drinks to you. They
bring everything.
But you got to. Where is that one at?
This one is out in Jersey, like near Montclair.
Ralph, it's worth the trip. Like, it's like fun. You go. They got them in Arizona too. It's like, it's dope. It's very fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I went on the first date there. Just met somebody. Let's meet at the movies. Okay, cool.
But you know why she took you there? Because the big ass chair, you can't reach over to the other chair.
Yeah, that chair was far away too.
You got the big chair, but you stuck away. So our movie reviews are Sicario, definitely. Get your nerd stripes watching Martian, and if you want to be stressed the fuck out, go see Everest. And that was movies. Yo, this Final Podcast number 40 with Ice-T.
And McBenzo.
Ralph McDaniels is
and
in the building.
Vava's in the building too, baby.
We just chopping it up like friends do. Friends do. And this is sports.
Hey, I got to talk about sports, man, because I am a New York Yankees fan. I want y'all to know that. And
poor thing.
I'm kind of no. I'm a little upset because CeCe decided when we were in the wild card, was in the wild card.
Was in the wild card, right? Game.
We needed one to win, and he's been drinking ever since we started. He's been playing, and I know he's been playing when he's had hangovers. All of a sudden, we make it to the wild card. He dead such and said he's going to rehab. I think maybe his wife must have told him, you either go to rehab or I'm out the door.
Well, how about this? The fact that they didn't have him scheduled to pitch that game.
But that's not the point. We still need his presence.
Whoa. Maybe he caught an attitude. Maybe he was like, I've been winning for y'all, and this is the game you need me in, and y'all going to put somebody else in? Check this out. I'm going to rehab on you motherfuckers. You never know. I mean, people got egos. He might have got butthurt.
Yeah, because
I thought that it was kind of strange that he would do. I mean, I'm sure that his situation was bad, right? Whatever it was that he's going to announce that.
He's been playing that for some time. Now, all of a sudden, at the wild card day, you want to say, I'm going to go to rehab? So maybe, like you said, though.
I think Ice-T might have a point.
You might have a point.
Who pitched that game?
Oh man,
the Japanese guy, right?
Yeah.
That son of a bitch, yeah. You want to say his name. I'd have took him out at the second inning, 2 outs, you get a home run. Joe, I don't know what the hell you was thinking about, but I think you wanted to lose that game because you should have been pulled him out because we got one game to win. So we trying to win, put another pitcher on the mound. You know what? I'm about to give up on you
Mac,
motherfuckers.
You lost. Live
No,
with
but
it.
the Mets
are making it smooth. They're making. There we go at that bullshit. Because it's next to Brooklyn.
Exactly.
Because it's next to Brooklyn.
That's their home team.
It's next to Brooklyn.
If
so
you
it's
grew up in
Queens.
Brooklyn, Queens, you a Met fan.
You got to support the Mets.
But y'all doing a hell of a good job. I got to admit that.
They get it every century.
But y'all did get a broke leg though, right?
Yeah, that was pretty gangster, man.
That was a fly ass slide.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, he did his
that
thing.
slide was something else.
It was smooth.
He shouldn't be penalized for that because that happens in baseball.
I wish they had, I'm waiting for Harvey to hit him with the ball or something. Somebody gonna get him back. Maybe not.
The
this
Mets
year,
are doing
next year.
good. Y'all trying to get over to the next round so y'all get to the World Series. Y'all doing a great job.
So
but the New York Giants,
we doing this Tuesday night. So
right. So they playing tonight, but we coming out tomorrow. Y'all gonna hear this tomorrow. So I don't know if they won or lost.
What happened? Shit.
Okay, it's gonna be a tie. They're gonna make tied up. Then
Might be tied up. Yeah.
Might be tied up. That's okay. Then they got one more to go. But Mets are doing a hell of a good job. But them New York Giants, God damn it, we're playing good. But that Eli, that nigga's a liar. We always wait till we get down to 2 minutes of the game to fuck up something. But I'm watching you. I'm telling you one thing. You're gonna get fired. You lose again, man.
Hey,
but Giants doing good.
Big up to the Dodgers for Magic Johnson. I saw him in the stands. That's his club. I was like, okay, I see Magic out there doing his thing.
Magic
LA
got
people,
some,
we rep
Magic
the
got some
Dodgers.
stock in that. Magic got some stock in that.
No,
man.
LA people, we rep the Dodgers. We rep the A's. We rep the Angels.
So why y'all gonna come over here from L.A. and break a New York nigga leg, man? Come on, that ain't right then, man. That's not good rep. I was giving you a love till he said that shit, man. L.A., y'all be careful with that shit, man. Y'all doing us, man.
Us West Side niggas give a fuck. West Side niggas don't give a fuck. In the middle of the country, they might have a problem with New York. But when we bang just like New York. We don't give a fuck. When you feel to see the Dodgers roll up in there blue, when they come in, you know who's in the building. Nigga. They gangster too. But just from hip hop, LA, we've always rocked the Dodgers hats. That's where we get the LA hat, and we rock the Raiders hat. That's our
your baseball and your football, baby. Y'all
and
was
Raiders
working.
is Oakland, and shit. Hopefully, LA is talking about getting a new team one day. We get a stadium, and maybe they'll bring the Raiders back. Can you imagine that? Out of all the cities in the United States, LA does not have a football team.
That's crazy.
Team.
That's
Y'all
crazy.
got 2 basketball teams. Be happy.
Ain't that a bitch? And that was sports. Okay, here we are on Final Level Podcast number 40 with Mick Benzo.
And my man Ralph McDaniels.
The one and only, and the homie LeVaba, manager of Kumo D and a lot of other big rap artists and stuff. But really today, LeVaba, you riding shotgun because you just popped up on the homie shit. Yeah. We're here to honor Ralph McDaniels.
That's why I came to support Ralph.
And, did you know Ralph was coming or you just lied good?
Politician.
He's a politician.
Hey, look, I have some footage of LeVaba.
Okay, gotta go.
Shit, see? That's it.
Interview's over.
So
Jive Records.
So Ralph,
Yes.
good
stuff.
I always say the best place to start is at the beginning.
Before I get into that, though, man, people enjoying this podcast, in all honesty, I'm Mick Benzo, and I need y'all to go to blackberrysoulradio.com. I come on Sunday through Thursday from 11 to 3. I want y'all to check that out.
Are we interviewing Ralph?
Okay, but Uncle Ralph's in the building, but I play that soul music on blackberrysoulradio.com on Sunday through Thursday at 11 to 3. I need y'all to tune in just like y'all was tuning in the goddamn video music box. All right, Uncle Ralph. Uncle Ralph's in the building.
Ralph. Mickey's a DJ on some bullshit.
That was some
Like
bullshit.
This is his own shit.
Yeah.
This is his own shit. He got this slow jam station he does on Blackberry Music, and he's the DJ.
I want to ask LeVaba, did you listen to it?
I couldn't help. Every time I work it out, I work out 11 o'clock, I get a text from Mick. Yo, Zulu Radio.
How did it sound, sir?
Well,
How did it sound?
Let us hear some of your DJ.
It sounds.
None of that, man. You're going to tune in to BlackberrySoulRadio.com.
Put that voice on. Put that sexy on.
You're going to tune in to Blackberry Soul Radio. You're going to hear me on there. You're going to hear the podcast right now like this. They're going to listen to McBenzo. They're going to listen to me.
Can we just let the listeners hear your Blackberry voice?
Come on, man.
Bank.
Yeah, please.
Don't make us beg.
Come on, give me the laying on your back voice.
BlackberrySoulRadio.com.
Just one time.
I'll see y'all there.
One time.
No.
We're going to keep rolling till you
Hey, Ralph McDaniels in the building. Uncle Ralph.
Nah, Mick, if you played the Delphonics, what you going to say, man?
Go on, hit it, Mick.
Be careful, baby. They cost you something.
What you say? Be careful, baby. It may cost you something.
Careful, baby. I done told you.
If you played, Smokey and them, man, what you going to say, man?
As my man Teddy Pendergrass says, turn it off.
I think he said take it off.
Oh, my God. No, hey, y'all listen to the podcast. Honestly, people always say, well, what is the podcast really? It's the closest you're going to get to hanging out with me at my crib or in my car or just chilling with the homies, and it gives you that vibe. And people have so many opinions about Ice-T, whether, they think I'm this guy or that guy. You're not going to really get to meet me on my records. You're going to, I'm going to be doing some other shit on my records. You're not going to really get to meet me on Law and Order or in my movies. Mm-hmm. This is the closest you're going to get to picking up my vibe as a person. Love me or hate me, this is it. And my homies, that's what the podcast is about. It's about letting us just chop it up like real motherfuckers and be friends. So when Mickey does this bullshit impression of the Quiet Storm.
No. Lenny Green ain't got nothing on the page.
What's the one you do without putting the baby powder on?
That's the intro. They got to listen to the intro. Get ready for Zulu Love. Just put it on and you watch you understand. I'll get a bunch of hits on it. BlackberrySoulRadio.com.
Okay, all right. So back to you, Ralph. Oh, Lord have mercy. Tim, that's a segue right there. I don't know. Please help me. The night is wild.
We used to have Tasty Tuesdays on Video Music.
See? Hey, buddy.
Since
it's the battle of the DJs.
Look,
Let's go.
Since you were more familiar with Ralph because you are our New Yorker, you've seen this thing. Why don't you do this interview? Break it down.
All right. Basically, we got Ralph McDaniel in the building, Video Music Box. The question I wanted to ask Ralph a long, long time ago is, was Video Music Box only in New York City?
Nah. We were in Virginia, Detroit, Chicago. Pretty much that was it for broadcast stations. Mm-hmm. But people were starting to pick us up. The thing that with us is that people had VHS tapes. And they would take these VHS tapes to Army bases in Germany, Army bases in Korea, Army bases all over the world, take them to L.A. I went to L.A. and I met cats out there that had my VHS tapes. And I was like, how y'all got them out here? They said, yo, that's the thing. It's like passing mixtapes around. Mm-hmm. People are passing Video Music Box around like that. So when I went to places, they knew of me, and I didn't know why. Especially in L.A. When I went to L.A., people were like, Steve Rifkin, he was a radio promoter. Mm-hmm. And I think he introduced me. That's the first time I met you, Ice.
Right.
And he said, yo, this Ice, and I got a VHS copy of Ralph's joint. He might have gave it to you that day. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And so that was how it got passed around to different places. And so if you didn't see it in New York, we came on every day in New York at 3:30 after school. I wanted to make sure it was right after school that we came on because originally they wanted to put us on like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I was like, nah, it's too late.
So, Ralph, you said you started off as a DJ.
Yes.
Right. So you were DJing where?
I was DJing in Queens and Brooklyn, sometimes in Manhattan. If you got a gig in Manhattan, that was a big thing. You went to the city, okay. That was a big deal. But that was like 75, 76. I was in high school. I graduated from high school 77, and I can remember I'm like, okay, I got to start doing this a little bit more. And I wanted to play in clubs in the city, and this is like disco era. The equipment now is starting to get a little bit more serious. The mixes and the turntables are a little bit better, and we start playing in different clubs. And I start moving around the city, and then I start hearing about something going on in the Bronx called hip hop. Mm-hmm. And Russell Simmons was a promoter then.
Okay, speak on
Rush Productions, and he used to do parties and stuff. And he came to me and he was like, yo, Ralphie, I got these records. And he was handing me, like disco records or like Confunction and Gap Band and stuff like that. And then he came to me one day and he's like,
how old were you?
I out of high school, whatever it was, 19.
17?
18.
Yeah, 18. And he used to talk about going to the Bronx. Brooklyn dudes don't go to the Bronx. I don't go to the Bronx. But I did go to the Fever, and I went with Davey DMX. I don't know if you remember Davey DMX.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That was my man. And Dave was like the real technical guy in the neighborhood. Russell was the promoter. He'll hype it up and do whatever he had to do. But Dave was the guy who knew how to scratch real good. He knew technically how to make a record and all that stuff. He showed Jam Master Jay how to make records.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And so Dave said, let's go up to the Bronx. And we went to the Fever. And I said, what y'all are doing up here in the Bronx is totally different what else is going on in the city. They cutting, they scratching, people were dancing. It was crazy.
And Sucker MCs, isn't that what we run talking about? Dave cut the records down to the bone.
Absolutely.
He wasn't saying Jay, he said Dave. Davey D.
Yeah. It was Dave. And that Dave was the foundation of everything. Dave plays bass now. If you go on tour to check out Public Enemy, that's Davey D on bass.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so this is the big question I'm going to ask. Where did the transition to this show happen for you? You know, everybody now is running around with a video camera. Everybody, I always make fun of it. Like, you know, we talking and nigga got a camera aiming at me talking about this hood TV, son. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, turn that shit off. Was the whole thing your idea? And explain that your show operated differently than any other video show. How did that happen?
We started. I graduated from college. I had an internship at this small radio station, NYC TV, Channel 31, for those who know, back in the days. And they had nothing else on there but like public broadcasting
So it was
type
public
program.
access channel?
Right. It was like a PBS, but the B channel, the B station on PBS.
Right.
You know. And so we like
Coat hanger channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We like, yo, man, can we want to do a show here? And they was like, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, we want to do something that represents the hood. We didn't say the hood because we was up there, we want the community, the black community. So they looked at us like, okay, here we go, some revolutionaries. I said, no, it's music. We want to put on some music. So we came with the idea to do videos. They didn't even know what videos were because music videos were new. Like people say, Ralph, you're a hip hop pioneer. I'm also a music video pioneer because that whole genre was new. We didn't have MTV. There was no cable or anything like that here. The city wasn't even wired for it at all. So, we just were like, okay, look, let's put this thing together. Let's figure out what to do. We started taking R&B videos, some cool rock stuff, shout, let it all out, all that kind of stuff.
Tears for
Fear. All of those type of groups might get some Wham in there. You might get some, whatever it is. And just let's kind of mix it all together and let's make this into a video show. And that's how it started in 83. In 83, there wasn't a whole bunch of hip-hop music videos in 83.
Right, it was more wax. It was more wax.
Yeah.
Nobody had a budget for it.
Yeah, nobody had a budget for it. I used to go to Russell, you should shoot a video. And he was like, what am I going to do that for? Where am I going to play that? He didn't get it at all, So the first time we started doing videos was with Cold Chillin'. I started producing videos. Fly Tie gave me my first shot. I did MC Shan, Left Me Lonely, me and my partner Lionel Martin. And then we started doing Kane, and we started doing all the Biz videos. We did a lot of videos. We directed them. But Video Music Box was the foundation for a lot of that, and it was the beginning of people's story. I say, at that time, if you saw black people on TV, you were probably getting pushed into a cop car, being arrested or something like that. We were showing black folks looking good and going into, meetings. And like I said, I got footage of LaVeva, hosting the
Teen Awards.
No. You were hosting an event that Jive Records had. It was one of the first hip hop showcases. And it was called Rap's New Generation.
Oh, wow.
Classical too.
But off of that song, Rap's New Doom.
That was on my label.
Yeah.
That was Rooftop Records. That was my label.
What's the name of that group?
Classical 2 is the name of the group.
Classical 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Rooftop Records, right?
That was my label.
That was your label?
Yeah,
Give me
Modi
some
was
money,
signed on
nigga.
You sampled a lot of shit too.
Now, look. Now, I just flexed on your West Coast nigga. I said Rooftop Records, Classical 2. See, the thing about it, what you guys don't know, East Coasters, once the West Coast got an ear on hip hop, every tape, anything that came from New York was a prized possession. People would get, like you saying, through the military. I used to get all kinds of tape from Mr. Magic Show, and we used to, because we wanted hip hop is addictive. Once you hear it, you're like, where does it come from? So we was hunting everything down, and we studied it. We studied it. That's why I could say classical too. I know the name of the label and stuff because we had those records in L.A. We weren't rapping yet, but once you know what turned us out really even more than rap when we saw the New York City Breakers on That's Incredible.
Break dancers.
Wow.
The break dancers, niggas was like, hip hop is dope. Like we need to be a part of this, you know? And that's how it's taken over the world.
But Ice wasn't in L.A. It was only like a small group of people that were kind of in the scene. You know, like every party you went to, everybody was there.
It starts small.
Yeah.
It starts small because L.A.
Was that the club radio?
Well, no, L.A. had a techno sound. L.A. was the techno sound with Egyptian Lover and Uncle Jam's Army. We was all like, like a lot of almost kind of like what Bambaataa was doing. A lot of that kind of stuff, and that was the West Coast sound. And only a few people had the courage to try to rap like New York rappers. And I say try to rap because, like I said in Original Gangsters, 10 years ago, I used to listen to rappers flow, talking about the way they rocked the mic at the disco. I liked how that shit was going down. Dreamt about ripping the mic with my own sound. So I tried to write rhymes, something like them. My boy said, that ain't you, Ice. That shit sounds like him. So I sat back, thought up a new track. I didn't fantasize, I kicked it pure facts. Motherfuckers got scared because they was unprepared. Who would tell it how it really was? Who dared? A young nigga from the West Coast, L.A., South Central fool, where the Crips and the Bloods play. When I wrote about parties, it didn't fit. 6 in the morning, that was the real shit. So until I was able to rap about what L.A. was, I was never going to hit. I couldn't rap about New York. I had to, and I tell new rappers today, I'm like, before you could be big anywhere, you got to be the biggest cat in your neighborhood, then the biggest cat in your town, then the biggest in your state. Then you take the country.
Yeah.
So now one other thing about you, Ralph, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but your show is interactive.
Oh, shout outs and all that kind of stuff.
It was a jukebox.
Yeah. Oh no, not the jukebox. That came later on.
Oh, okay.
But in the beginning, like the thing about Video Music Box is like I used to tell people, I'm not the most important person on the show. It's the audience. Let them be involved. So we go into the crowd and people started doing the shout out, and that's when the word shout out became huge. Like nobody used that on television, prior to that. And so people would go, you want to do a shout out? Everywhere I went to clubs in the Bronx, Queens, wherever, I would be chilling, maybe tape something with Mick Benz and covering the artists and stuff like that. And then we'd be chilling and say, you ain't going to do shout outs today? And I'm like, because that was daytime.
Right.
We're doing the shout outs. We're getting people, an opportunity. I call them hood stars. Now they hood stars in their neighborhood. Everybody's seeing them on TV because up to that point, the only reason why you was on TV is probably getting arrested.
Right, you can't get on TV.
Right. So it's an opportunity now for you to get your shine on. And now all the clubs are calling me, yo, come to my club. I want you to do that. So it's also a marketing tool for me to get in the clubs now and get paid.
That's right.
You got to get paid.
Yeah. So now I'm in the clubs. Every club's calling me. They hiring me. They want me to do this and that and the third. And, it's popping off.
Yeah, so now you getting paid. Now people are starting to see that this fool's actually got, excuse me, that's L.A. talk. You call people fools.
It's all good. It's all good.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Yeah, but that's this L.A. nigga. Yo, when this fool ass nigga, you call somebody a fool. Nigga, don't call me no fool, nigga. No, that's love. But they saying now this guy has action at getting on TV. Nobody has action at getting on TV. So all of a sudden, you started to gain power.
Right. We hot.
You're hot. Now, when was the moment when you had more videos than you could play?
Probably around 87, 88. It was starting to get popping around 87, 88. There was more artists being signed, of course.
Right.
It was, more labels that were out there, and it was people were starting to do their own thing. Technology was starting to catch up where you can possibly make your own video, in some way, shape, or form. And so that's when it was hot, man. And it was a good time, We were doing videos. I did all of the Kane videos, all of the, the Biz Marquee videos. We were going to Detroit. We were going to L.A. we were everywhere. We were directing them as well as playing them on the show.
Yeah. That was a cool part for me. Like when we did, That's How I'm Living video. It's like, yo, my manager George, like, yo, we can get Ralph McDaniels to direct it. You think he'll fuck with me? So yeah, he'll fuck with you. And I said, I was always just very much about my vision. I think any real artist has to have a real connection to who the fuck they are. Because if you let a video director just take you off in some other damn direction, so I'm like, nah, this is what it is. And in this video at the end, I want to kill some police, right? And Ralph was like, all right. You know, and I was like, oh, this is my nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the kind of person that even in a business meeting, I'll throw out something very strange just to see if anyone budges. And if you budge, you got to get out the car. So
I'm Ice-T, man. So, you know, not just because you were Ice-T, but you had a vision, you know, that I respected.
Yeah.
Some people might say that, you know, some dudes, young boys now, and I'm like, man, you crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Well, we had a whole concept, and in the video, they had brought me out of solitary confinement, and they were doing an interview with me. And throughout the interview, I would pick up these pencils, and then at the end, there was a reveal where I did it was like a Hannibal Lecter moment, like bam, and the guys were stabbed up in blood. Well, that ending of the video, probably he's the only person that might even know how to find it, because that thing got wiped off the face of the earth at some point. I don't have it.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got it on YouTube. They don't have it, but there's a scene at the end of the video where I just you don't see anything. You just see the aftermath, and I take blood and I pushed it across the thing. But I was just so impressed with his dopeness and willingness to go that far, because that's just how I think. You know, I'm like, if it's not, you know, no time to do nothing soft. We got to push.
So,
the
Ralph,
limits.
you broke a lot of the artist video. Even I heard Wu-Tang brought your video, and you told him to take it back and do something else to it.
Yeah, Protect Your Neck. RZA brought it to me, and he was like, look, what do you think? And I said, you know, I think you need to make some changes. And I said, you know, is it finished yet? And he was like, you want to play it like the way it is? I said, well, go fix it. I think it's hot. I'm going to play it the way it is. Still had time code on it. And I was like, because it's hot. And so I started playing. He never fixed it. He let that's the version that went out. And that was it. And then Steve Rifkin called me and said, yo, what you think about that? And I said, they dope. You should sign them. And they signed them.
Chess boxing, too. That's one of
chess boxing was dope.
Yeah. You know, it's I think, you know, the cool thing about early hip-hop is everybody knows the players. It was small enough that if you was in the game, everybody either knew you or could figure or find out about you real quick. A couple phone calls. Who's this dude? Who is this dude? Is this dude solid? Is this dude? And I think before it was flooded with so much music, you were able to pick and choose. I know there was a point where you just had too much stuff, and then it became political. How did you fight that? You know, like people saying, don't play this video, play that video. Did you just have the iron hand and say, I play what I want?
Yeah, I played that position. You know, I try to stay out of the way, man. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay out of the politics and all of that kind of stuff. And
because you became like a radio station in a way.
Yeah, because they was waiting for you outside and see you in the club, and you know, niggas start talking that funny style shit. You know, and you be like,
oh, that's why you hired Crazy Sam.
Right? Well, Crazy Sam was there, and Beast was there. You know, like, hey, look, man, I remember walking into some club, and you know, and this brother, he's passed away, so I'm not going to say his name.
Right. Yeah, we don't say his name.
Yeah, so I just went in the club, and he was like, yo, Ralph, I'm going to speak to you, man. And the look on his face was like, why do I want to talk to you if that look on your face right now? Because this is not going to be a good conversation. So I said, all right, my man, I'm going inside. I'll meet you when you get inside.
You got to get in first.
Right, because I'm not going over there to the side of the club. We ain't going to have that. You know, he was a, big diesel type nigga. Like, it ain't going to happen, man.
But it's like... And it's not all based around play my video, right?
Exactly.
It's just based around you ain't playing my video.
Right. You ain't playing my shit. Nigga. Play my shit.
My thing is, you were doing Video Music Box, then they came with Yo MTV Raps with Fat Five Freddy, and then Ed Love and Dr. Dre came. How come you never got a spot on major network?
Well, we went to MTV in '86, and we said, how come you guys are not doing a rap show? And they were like, well, Middle America's not ready for that yet. I'm like, what are you talking about? 86 is like, Eric B. and Rakim is hot, Run DMC's hot, Ice, everybody's out.
Yeah, that was the year, right?
It's popping.
Mo D was hot.
Yeah, everybody's out. I'm like, look at the kids are wearing the shirts. It's not just black kids, it's white kids, it's Asian kids, it's Spanish kids. Everybody's into this. And they were like, yeah, but that's different. TV is different. You got to understand, Ralph, the Middle America, blah, blah, blah. So I said, all right. And then 87 is when they came with UMTV Raps.
Without
Next year.
you.
Right. So, and you know what?
That's cold, man. That's cold, man. That's cold.
Yeah.
That's
and-
foul network. That's real
No,
foul.
this is what happens in the corporate world. Let me break this down. You'll go to a meeting with 5 people, and 5 people will tell you no. One person will think it's a good idea, and they'll hold that idea. Then they'll wait till later when there's a different 4 people in the room and bring that idea up as their idea.
Right.
I remember, let me tell you a funny story. Back in the day, I used to break dance, pop lock, all that bullshit. We called it locking on the West Coast. So McDaniels was doing a commercial for kids trying to, I'm trying to get in commercials. So we did this thing where in the middle of the routine, one of the homies starts shaking, like vibrating. We like, what's going on? He having a shake attack. Oh shit, get him a shake. And we got him a shake, and the motherfucker start dancing again, right? So they like, nah, y'all cool. 2 months later, the Big Mac attack came out.
Wow.
The Big Mac attack. Niggas called me up like, yo, they stole our shit. I'm like, yeah, but they McDonald's and like we in the street, nigga. Like you had a payphone calling me, like we ain't got no money. What we gonna do? We gotta keep stealing.
MTV was playing videos, but they weren't playing black videos.
Not
MTV
really.
was playing videos, on regular MTV, like Madonna.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, they was
know.
playing, but they wasn't playing the hip hop. I think maybe if you'd have trademarked it, if you was young enough to know that could have been your niche.
Mick, hip hop caught
It was
America
big.
by storm.
Yeah.
They weren't ready, and see what they were not aware of is, white kids have always been connected to black music. Because music is universal. That's what the Universal Zulu Nation
That's
speaks
what we
on.
say.
And if you go back to rock and roll was invented by black people. Chuck Berry, and people like that, Fats Domino, and who danced to it? White kids at the sock hops. And then they separated us. They said, oh, well, you know what? Black people, y'all do rhythm and blues. Elvis, you gonna be the new rock guy. Pat Boone, remake all Little Richard's records. And they separated us, the powers that be. The kids didn't want to separate. The kids were okay. The kids weren't racist.
music,
The
that's
kids wanted to party with the black kids, but they separated us. Okay, so they thought they pulled it off, but here comes hip-hop. Hip-hop is coming again.
Got 'em again.
Right? That's why one of my albums was called Home Invasion. It's like, it got him. Now, people say, well, hip-hop, rock. I'm like, well, we are rock. We rock the mic. We rock the house. We don't R&B the house. We rock the house. And to me, if you're doing pop, you're singing what everyone wants to hear. Go to school, love your mother. That's pop. That's pop. Rock is fuck that. I ain't with that. I ain't rolling like that. That's rock. Now we rocking shit. Hip hop is rock. You know what I'm saying? So you rock the turntables. You rocking them new Adidas. We rock. But black people got to understand they invented rock. So rock is a cool word in our community because we invented it. But we get caught in the trickeration and we start thinking, oh, rock means guitars. And the greatest guitar players of all time, Jimi Hendrix. It's like we are music, and music is us. And the beauty of hip-hop is y'all made something from nothing, you know? And
That is the art of
It's
rap.
been a fad though every year. So, and that's why in the beginning corporations wasn't heavy invested because this is just going to be for a year or two, and then it's going to blow over, and they're going to do it. And I think that's what caught them totally off by it.
Channel 7 News is talking about news 24/7. They'll take what they want from hip hop. The Taco Bell dog is rapping, like they'll take what they want, but they'll totally say this is a fad. The thing of it is that this. If you really want to get into it, poverty is where all art comes from.
Exactly.
I don't care if you go to the Renaissance period, if you go way back, all the great artists were dead ass broke. And that's where this reggae music. And that's where creation comes from. And a lot of people will admit that once you get paid, it's hard to make music. It's like, you ain't got no more pain. You like, Ice, how you gonna rap? Nigga, you in a mansion now. Like, what the fuck, And I remember, like, I was a big Bone Thugs and Harmony. I remember when Bone Thugs and Harmony, it's the first of the month.
Wake up.
And they was so dope. But then at some point they was like money, 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 money. And it's like, okay, it doesn't connect like the pain. So when hip hop hit, white kids was like, yo, that shit is dope. Then what happened is once the rappers got a hold of the white kids, they was like, we're not mad at you. You're not our enemy. We're probably mad at the same shit. I went on tour with Public Enemy so many times, and it's just all white kids holding the fist. It taught us something, too, as black kids, like, hold up, maybe there's more to this racism than meets the eye. Absolutely. Maybe it's a money thing, you know. Maybe it's a class system game that's going on. I want everybody out there listening to this to go to the internet and check out Race Baiting 101. It's on YouTube. It'll blow your fucking mind. But it'll break down the game and how they separate us to keep us fighting each other. I want both of you guys to check it. It's just called Race Baiting 101. This one guy breaks it down. It's so fucking incredible. It'll just make you say, there it is. That's the answer. But
you have fans that are all over, all types of people.
Because I know now. I got the big picture now. I got the big picture.
That's the great thing about being in music and entertainment. Like, that has really no color on it most of the time. It's like, okay, we love you if you're a basketball player, if you're an artist, if you're whatever you are. They love you for whatever it is that you. I go places and least expect it. You know, some Pakistani guy comes up to me, yo, man, Uncle Ralph, all that, and I'm like, okay.
Ralph, music has no color, man.
Yeah,
music has sound.
It's beautiful.
Well, people respect talent. People respect money. They don't respect poor. And I don't care if you white. I don't care if you Pakistani. I don't care where you are. But if you look like you ain't got no money, people ain't fucking with you. That's just really what it is. You know what I'm saying? We could walk in a Ferrari dealership and shit. If we got the cake, they going to treat us like we motherfucking Donald Trump. They don't give a fuck because it's one color. It's green. It's green. So when you understand these principles, you can make music for the white fans. The white fans can come close and understand what we singing about. And we can break down these racial barriers. But you were at the forefront of it. And there was so much... Come on, man. I mean,
Ralph's still doing it, though, aren't you?
We're still doing it. I mean, you know, my big thing now is the archives that we have because it's literally like, you know, a museum of history, you know, everything that we have. So I've got like over, you know, 30,000 hours of just video music box, then content of, you know, early Nas, early Jay.
Wow.
All these guys, you know, the 80s artists were coming up. So I've been licensing, like if you saw Time is Illmatic by Nas, I have about 20 minutes worth of footage in there of Nas because I worked on him. I did his first video. I did directed It Ain't Hard to Tell. And then we did
Say that again.
I did Nas' first video.
Ain't hard to tell. And that was dope.
And so I worked with him on that. And then when Beats, Rhymes, and Life came out with Tribe Called Quest, there's about 20 minutes of stuff from there from Q-Tip and Tribe Called Quest that we were just hanging out with them. You know, Chris Lighty was my man.
Rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
Jesus.
And we you know, and Chris was a great guy because he knew how to make the translation from what we talking about, you know, like our regular hood language to corporate. What he's trying to say is this, and this is why you're supposed to pay him.
Chris was just a good
Violators,
dude.
baby.
Yeah, like he was just a good guy, man. You know,
Chris.
like there's a lot of people in this business that ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Chris, I really hurt my heart, you know. He's dearly missed. He was a good dude. Yeah. I don't care if he had $100 million. He'll see you. He'll treat you the same way, you know. OG Violators, come on, man, carrying records for Red Alert.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Exactly. He, you know, God bless Chris. Those of y'all don't know, Google Chris Lighty. He's a hip hop, one of our soldiers that we lost, that we all love. He was recently, you know, was managing 50 Cent, Mobb Deep, everybody, Busta Rhymes. Okay, keep going. I mean, I just had to tangent out. Chris, you can't just say
because he's missed. You know, that's an important part of the game and getting the message across and people understanding it. Like you said, like LeVaba said, you know, every year, the rap is doing really good, hip hop's doing really good. I'm like, wait a minute, it's been like 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
42 years.
Right, 42 years.
42 years. 41 years, actually. 42 is the Universal Zulu Nation anniversary that's coming up in November, you know?
You know, so you know, we know that is doing this thing, and we're here and we're doing it. Now, my thing is to now archive it and to make sure that it's, put in its proper places in these institutions. And that's what I did. I went to school for that. So I'm like, okay, let me bring my education back into this and make sure that I document it. I make sure that it's all MP4'd and audio sounds good. And, we categorize it in the way it has to be, and that we are setting up a place where a Universal Hip Hop Museum where all of this stuff can be, shown in its proper way, like rock and roll is, and but it takes money. It's not like, we're still in baby steps compared to rock and roll, I would think, right, Ice?
Well, the thing of it is that rock and roll is something that got tons of money behind it. The people that love rock and roll got tons of money. And trying to get the hip-hop community to donate back into it.
That's
the thing
hard.
of it is, hip-hop is a very...
No, that's hard.
No, but hip-hop is an illusion more than it is a reality. When you watch the videos, it's an illusion more than it is a reality. Like when you see the rock and roll guys on them jets, it's their jets.
It's their jets.
Okay, we
They're
done...
not props. They're not props.
I just watched a video by this white kid named Little Dicky. And he did a video where he did a full video for no money, and the shit is just banging, right? But it's just funny. But there's not that many truly wealthy hip hoppers.
So hip hop is like America. You got the 1%ers and you got the working poor. That's the state of hip hop.
Yeah, yeah. You got these many people. If you look at the videos, you'll swear everybody's got millions and millions of dollars. Not that many. I mean, probably less than 50 people that really are successfully
we definitely
embedded
know
in the game and made money.
That's why I say we don't have the money as rock and rolls have.
Let me tell you, I'll keep it 100. Hip hop did me well. I had 11 consecutive gold and platinum records. I'm living off TV money now. People say, what happened with the rap money? I blew that dough. I had motherfucking houses and planes,
convertible
and
tops,
all kinds of shit. But that shit gets spent, right? I started a movie career 25 years ago. I've been doing movies and television and stuff, so I have more income. It's hard to track the movement. Then I just dropped a new album with Body Count. But that money from rap back then,
dead.
Spent that, blew that, living a very wonderful lifestyle, and I'm not gonna complain about it. But the nigga said, "Oh, you still getting royalties off?" Like, if you waiting on a royalty check from back in the day, shit done went wrong, son.
Well, I'm looking at what we talking about with Ralph is I think we still should see some of these archives that you have on national television, B.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's an Oprah channel, so maybe you need to go there and say, look, can we do some of this here on Monday through Friday? I mean, it's time for them to see what hip-hop did as it grew, as you help it grow to the multi-billion-dollar company that the corporations are making money off. I'm talking about the McDaniels and the Microsofts, and they didn't think about us.
I'm brainstorming though because I didn't know Ralph had all this good shit.
You and me both.
I'm sitting here going. I told Jay one day. Jay is a kid who grew up. Jay-Z is a kid who grew up watching me on TV. And I met I know his whole family, and and I was talking to Jay about the archives. I said, "Yo, Jay, I got his archive," and he was like, "Wait a minute, you own Video Music Box?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "It's just me," and he was like, "Really?" And so he just had because maybe there was nobody like that prior to
except Don Cornelius,
and Don Cornelius, right?
Just Don.
But the thing of it is, the videos themselves, if you showed them, you would actually still have to pay.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the videos. I'm talking about the content that I shot.
Okay.
Interviews and things like that. I have the videos too. Mind you, if you go to Warner Brothers and look for an old Ice-T video, they can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got it.
Right.
So if Revolt is looking for it, if MTV is looking for it, if VH1 is looking for it, they know I got it. So that's all I'm going to say.
That's gangster. Hey, you know what, Ralph? We about the hustle here. One of the things about the podcast is about showing people what the hustle is, how you make it. We kind of take it apart and dissect it. We don't lie.
Yes,
we tell people, you got to pay your taxes, man. Don't play. You got to, we try to keep it real because, like I say, there's so much illusion, so much bullshit going on. And the fact that you are sitting on all that and still looking for an outlet.
Yeah.
I might need to try to come in, get in the game with you some kind of way with some of my television contacts or something like that. But then at the same time, you got to get paid. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, you know,
I think there's enough out there. I mean, you know, you work in that world. You see how much money is moving around.
there's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money moving
and there. See, the more channels that are popping up, you know, there's Robert Rodriguez got this dope channel called the El Rey Network. If you hip to that,
No.
they show kung fu movies. They're very into retro stuff, a lot of the Tarantino stuff. That might be a great fit for that network. So, you know, I'm a hustler, so anytime you come in the door talking about, nigga, I got these potato chips, I'm looking at them like, can I sell them motherfuckers? Can I get in there? Can I get in there? You know, but at the same time, you don't want to waste time doing shit that's not going to be, you know, beneficial. I, for one, am into hip hop. That's why I did The Art of Rap. I feel some debt to hip hop because it saved my life, got me into the position I'm in. I wouldn't be acting and doing other shit wasn't for rap. So I feel something that when I do something for hip hop, it gives me pleasure. You know, I didn't make a dime on my movie, but I'm glad I did it. It's one of the best things I ever did. So,
but you just bought a great festival, right?
Yeah.
To the West Coast.
Yeah, what we did was we took that documentary and turned it into a festival so we could make sure the brothers that did the movie with us could make some kind of compensation. And we do have the Art of Rap 2016. It is coming, and we're looking at more cities right now. But that was something that
Mickey did.
Yeah, we did it together. And it was something that he said, you know, let's make sure some of the folks that was in this movie that did it for me with love, let's make sure they get to eat, because there's an outlet for audience that we have, just like your archive. There's an outlet for it, but if you don't put it out there, they're going to keep hiring the same old videos you see on TV. Same thing they do with the artists. They don't use all the artists that we used in the Art of Rap. They use the same old 7 artists on every stage. We turn that into 35 artists.
And sold 2 concerts out at amphitheaters. So the theory
and zero incidents.
No zeros.
No incidents.
So the theory that you can't sell out a concert without current artists or people that are on the radio now, we proved that wrong, because there's a core hip hop audience. So Ralph, I mean, you've took it, you started it. So where are you off to now with this? What's the next? What's the game plan?
I mean, for me, I try to, like I mentioned, we were talking earlier about the movies, and I'm trying to stay in tune with what the nerds are into,
right?
Because the nerds are winning right now.
I love it. I was about to jump out the car, go to Comic-Con yesterday.
Yeah.
Comic-Con's look, man. Basically, if you're in hip hop, you're kind of a nerd because it's all electronics, it's all drum machines, it's all, tech shit. Mickey used to carry a pistol, now he carry a laptop.
A laptop now, baby. Laptop.
So you got to have your geek shit going.
Yes, I think that the content could be used in, in these video games. There's all types of little, like you said, rabbits and doors you open and different places where this content could play a role in, just for instance, you get to some door and you open up and you go to a Nas concert and it's my footage and you watching Nas in '83 and like, oh wow, where did this come from?
That's a whole video game.
Yeah,
that's a whole video game.
Exactly, it's a whole video game.
Oh, video games got guns. Son.
I mean,
there's another kind of video game.
Video games got guns.
Now you have.
I think
Instagram.
I think a lot of phone content, though. I think right now through that phone, you could create an app that got that stuff, that streams that stuff to you. You know what I'm saying? See, the thing of it is you got to pick out a way to target that audience that wants it, and then you have to figure out how many people are happening. Now, I sold millions of records. I mean, if Beastie Boys sold 10 million records, there's millions of people that love hip hop that's out there. So you just have to give it to them in a way that they can get it when they want it. Let me brainstorm on this.
I mean,
Nigga just told me he got an archive. I'm like, yeah,
I want to go back with Ralph. When I first saw a Hammer video, and Hammer was saying he ain't hitting New York, he took Run DMC hat and put it down. We saw that on Video Music Box.
Yeah, and then Hammer came and hung out with me in New York, and he's like, yo, man, I thought it was like all entertainment, that right there. And he's like, no, it's for real. And then I went to his show, and I was like, this is amazing. The concert was like huge. He was
Hammer with Michael Jackson on there.
Yeah. And I was like, and then every time he would come back, he would call me. And I was like, all right. And in fact, there was a girl I knew. I said, let's do an audition for, dancers. And he took one of the girls on the road. And I never knew that she like, Ralph, you changed my life by hooking me up with Hammer. I didn't even know that, But she, this is our relationship with Hammer, He comes in, and I don't know. He's not getting played on the radio like that. I'm just paying attention to.
I mean, we saw him as a bat boy for Oakland. We didn't know he was a real rapper.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you broke him.
Yeah,
you broke him in New York.
Yeah.
We seen him. We seen him because we was watching Channel 31 on the UHF channel.
And you know, the thing about Hammer was Hammer sold so many records. People say, well, Hammer wasn't just a great rapper, but he was hip hop and he pushed it. And I always say, well, if out of those 10 or 20 million people, those people got into rap and they said, I want to find out what's going on, they're going to trickle down and end up at Wu-Tang Clan. They're going to find, I was talking to a guy today on my show and he's like, yeah, I'm just getting into hip hop. And he says, where do I start? And I'm like, you know, and I say Rakim and this. And he's like, well, I'm listening to Wu-Tang and I got Gangstar. I said, well, you're on the right track. You messing with the right stuff. So I was trying to guide him in. I said, we got hardcore. He was asking me about Will Smith. And I said, well, Fresh Prince has tons of respect in hip-hop because he never portrayed to be anything other than he was. So there were all kinds of lanes in hip-hop. You got native tongue, you got all that. I said, you know, you just had to stay in your lane, you know what you're doing, you know. So Ralph, with Uncle Ralph?
Uncle Ralph, baby. Uncle Ralph. And we ain't talking about that guy that's on TV talking about for parties and shit, right?
Yeah.
He took your name too. Uncle Ralph, come to my birthday party. He's got balloons. He's got magic.
Mr. Magic.
Mr. Magic. They call
Uncle
him Mr.
Magic.
Uncle Magic.
Yeah. Where can people get in contact with you, or what are you doing on social media? How can people, you know, connect? Maybe they got an idea for this archive.
Yeah, they can go to on Instagram and Twitter. At Video Music Box. At Video Music Box. One word. It's easy. If you want to go to see some footage, sometime I have put stuff on my YouTube page, Video Music Box 1.
Spelt out one or just one?
Just one, number one.
Okay.
And where else? And videomusicbox.tv. You can check out some of our stuff up there, as well as stuff that we do now, because we like to keep the young people in the tune with what's going on right now.
Absolutely.
You know, because I like I said, I'm on the nerd, and I want to see what the young people are talking about. I can't hang in clubs like with them and stand on couches and wild out like them, but for so many hours and listen to that same beat over and over again.
Who was some of your VJs?
Oh, back then or now?
Back in the day.
Oh, back in the days, Tuffy, who's he's my man from the BX, and he's a
prop master, right?
Right. He's doing all kinds of stuff in film and TV right now. Crazy Sam always been crazy, comedian and what have you. My partner back in the day is Lionel C. Martin, the Vid Kid, who directed tons of videos from SWV to R. Kelly to
where's Lionel at?
He's in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives out in LA. We grew up together, and he moved out there. We had an office in LA for a while, and then we shut the office down. And he started to work in the commercials, and he did How to Be a Player with Bill Bellamy. He directed that.
Okay.
And so he started working on some other stuff out there, and we're talking about the Video Music Box story. Taking a small station and making it where people could broadcast their information. If it was Chuck D and Public Enemy, if it was Nas, if it was RZA coming to the office, if it was me and R. Kelly sitting down. We did R. Kelly and public announcement, Robert Kelly and public announcement videos. We did those videos back then. Whoever it was, it's like when NWA movie came out, this guy, some conservative radio host came to me and said, well, how was it when, NWA came to the TV station? How were they? I said, they were just some dudes who wanted to get their music played.
Right.
That was it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't wild, what you want me to say. It wasn't that. They did a pre-interview with me. They canceled me because I wasn't telling them
for that bullshit. You know what, Ralph? You got an unlimited amount of history. I love having people here that was there.
Yes.
Chuck says if you wasn't in the war, you shouldn't comment on the battles. So some of the soldiers, I call everybody back then soldiers, because we had to fight for hip hop.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. Every time you try to do
basically, Ice, what we have is a bunch of lioneers, not pioneers. We got a bunch of fucking lioneers. I was there. You're a liar. You're a lioneer, not a pioneer.
You're a funny dude. You're a funny dude. Okay, we're not dealing with lioneers. We're dealing with pioneers. But Ralph, one last time, what's the easiest way somebody can connect to you? Straight through Twitter?
Yeah, straight through Twitter, or just go to, or you can email me, videomusicboxtv@hotmail.com. That's where we get the videos at. You a new cat, you want to get your video on. If you want to just get in contact with me about content, videomusicboxtv@hotmail.com. Just hit me up. And, and I look at it personally. I'll hit you right back.
And it's an honor to have you here, man, because you had a part in my career, real way, with my video and just playing shit. Nobody's playing L.A. shit. You had to have balls to play West Coast music from in New York. New York was on some shit, but it was about hip-hop. And a lot of early people knew, like Bambaataa, they was like, if this thing doesn't break out of the city, it's not going to survive. Mm-hmm. It has to go global. And sitting next to you, Vaba, the one and only. I mean, you need your own interview, but like I say, super manager. What's going on with you right now? What's the big thing you doing right now?
Right now, we're just coming off of Downtown. It's on the downside.
Let's not talk about that record.
Okay.
Let's talk about Mo D.
Downtown.
One of the greatest rappers in the history of the earth.
Now, we're putting together Mo's new album. I think it's like the best album he's done in his career. It's called Songs in the Key of OG. And it's dedicated to the age of 40 years old and better. It's music geared towards them. We have a single out right now called The Brand New Heat, which is basically, it took a
now, is he working with Mac? Is Macklemore helping him with this album, or is he just doing this solo?
No. We're doing this album. It's, myself, my crew of producers, Teddy Riley, all of us are back together, like really searching for a new sound.
So you back with Teddy Riley?
Wow. Dope.
Yeah, we got, we put the team back, and also we're going to do a song with Ben. Okay. And that Ryan is going to produce, because I love the hugeness of Ryan's production.
Yeah, no, come on, man. That boy's getting money, man. We're not playing.
Yeah.
We're not playing. We're not hating either. Just that nigga singing.
Yeah, we're doing something with both of us. I
might
finished
start
a record on Mel.
Tell your nigga, if I see you, Ice, I'm going to make you put on my pants.
He'll be here Monday.
Downtown.
We just did a new record on Mel. Last week, I just sent it to Mickey.
What, you did one on Melly Mel?
I'm doing one on Kaz, too.
That's dope.
I'm taking advantage. We just did this great record on Mel. It's a cool vibe. It's like, what I told him to do was go write reintroduction for people that didn't know who he was.
Okay.
So the record's set up like an interview. And each verse, he kind of breaks down who he is, where he comes from, his pedigree, things like that.
Well, you know what it is. I mean, when I did the gangster rap album, Vaba was the one person. He hooked me up with one producer out of the South. What was my man that did my whole album?
Justice. Alonzo.
My man laid out a whole record, gave me the album, let me rap on it, and said, man, I believe in this record. And we pushed and pushed. But, hip-hop comes in climates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when the climate changes, they want to hear something different. And we were still doing that original stuff. Now, my record people still like, oh, that's one of your best records. We love that record. But it's for the Ice-T aficionados, the people that are like totally tuned in there. But
now radio's caught it, because with the boom format, they've realized that they need to, it's like you said, it's about money. Mm-hmm. So when they're playing a lot of the young stuff, they don't get their Madison Avenue book filled. We can sell sneakers, we can sell hamburgers, but we can't sell cars. We can't do home loans and things like that, because that audience is tuned out. So that's why now the format has allowed, in this climate right now, if you were coming with that record now, there'd be a lot more love out there, because now the space exists.
Maybe I got to get back in the studio.
No, you definitely need to get back in, because the stuff I heard from you is like incredible.
I just do it for love. I love hip hop. I got 2 records right now. DJ King Assassin out of the Bay sent me a track, and also with a bunch of Bay Area rappers on it, and they want me to do a verse. And then my boy Laylaw, one of the original members of NWA, did Above the Law and all that. Yeah. He doing another album with Code 187, and he sent me a track. And I'll call Mickey up. I'll say, get me in the studio right quick. I got to do this. Yeah. And I don't want no money.
Well, you did one with K Slay, B.
Yeah, I got a record with K Slay. And guess who he put on the track?
Who else is on it?
Cool G Rap and Ice-T.
Yeah. Nice. See that?
Cool G Rap.
See
I
that?
was like excited because I went in the studio with K Slay. I rapped the whole record and stuff. So I seen him at the supermarket. This is the kind of shit happens when you get older. I bump into K Slay at the fast market. I say, what's up with that record? Oh, yo, Ice, yo, you was fire, but I got somebody else on the track. So I added you, both
Cool
y'all.
G Rap is
I'm like, cool.
Working,
I'm like,
yeah.
who I'm on the track with? He said, Cool G Rap. I'm like, thank you.
Now the approach, you got to be clever, because it's like I got a lot of young guys now, but I don't tell them who the music is for. I was like, yo, give me some knocking shit, but I don't say, because the minute you say, like, if you say Kumo D or Melly Mel or Kaz, they're gonna try and give you what they think is an 80s sound. It's like, give me a record for a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, because what he puts on it is not gonna be for the 19-year-old. I want the groove. Give me your basis of your groove.
Good way of going.
And then I don't even tell him, like the Brand New Heat. When I sent it back to the producer, he's like, Mo D jumped on that. because it's like nothing.
Right.
He didn't expect it.
Yeah, you know what I'm
He
saying?
didn't expect
I
it.
had somebody just send me a bunch of tracks and it was whack. I sent it back. I had to do my publishing deal. They sent me a whole bunch of music like, yo, rap over this. We want to try to put in some movies. I'm like, this shit's not what I do. You got to give me some shit. Because I'm like, I got to go in. I like the Mobb Deep tracks. I'm that kind of rapper. I need the sinister shit so I can get my juices flowing so I can take you into that place. I don't rap. Like I said, when I tried to write about parties, it just didn't fit.
Yeah.
I can't. That's not my shit. But having two legends in the building, we're happy to have you. We're gonna do one more segment and get out of this podcast. Y'all with us?
Absolutely.
All right. We got Ralph McDaniels and LaVaba. We won't say his last name because we don't know who's looking for him in the building.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes, I think very deeply.
Hey, yo, this is Ice-T and Mick Benzo. This is podcast number 40, and this is Philosophy. Now, the Philosophy segment is brought to you by my Twitter page, which is @FinalLevel. I do this thing called Daily Game, Ralph. Well, I just try to drop a jewel on the people every day. Other day, I dropped some philosophy. LaVaba, your daughter's here, and I want her to understand that this game is for everybody of all ages. It's a little bit of philosophy to help you live your life. And I just said, enjoy your life. Nobody can do that for you. Now, you understand that.
Oh, I can respect that. I can't help everybody else and enjoy their life if I'm not enjoying myself.
And it also means take a minute out of your life and live it. Like I said, I might have to tell Mickey I'm working so I can play my video games. And you can't count on anybody else to make you happy. You have to figure a way to just make a day happy. You can't put it on, well, I'm going to be happy if she comes over. I'm going to be happy if he does this for me. Or I'm going to be happy. Build on that, Ralph. You understand? Nobody can live your life for you.
Nah, you got to take out the time to take care of yourself, or not even your family. I'm talking about you.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yeah, just you for that moment. Sometimes I just be like, when I was younger, my thing was going to crate digging, looking for records. I could spend hours doing that. And then I met my wife and she'd be like, you do this for hours like this? She's, how could you do this? And I said, because I get satisfaction out of this. I don't know why. It's like, it's like DJing. It's just my little space and doing what I like to do and talking this and just listening, looking at the back of records. Oh, LaVaba's down with this. Oh, okay. This might be hot. Let me take this. Doing all of that kind of nerdy stuff. And that was my thing. And you got to find whatever your thing is that makes you feel good about life and just living it. And then being able to recognize and stay in the moment. Like I might have a million things on my mind right now, but right now I'm doing this podcast right now. And I'm thinking about Ice, and I'm thinking about Benzo, I'm thinking about LaVaba, and I'm thinking about who's listening to this right now, and that's all that matters. You gotta kind of shut everything off sometimes.
Yeah, you feel about that, baby, as far as enjoying your life, because nobody can do it for you.
No, I agree. It's something that I learned later, and probably with the birth of my daughter. That's like the best part of my life. I tell everybody, best part of my life has been being a dad. I get so much satisfaction for that.
But see, the jewel is, I have no connection to that. And if you think I'm going to live your life, you're not going to do that. You're going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out what, Mickey's taking his son to the football game. Like that makes him happy. One of my pimp buddies back in the day, Big Rich, told me, he said, Ice, no matter what it is, if it's what you want to do, you can't put a price on it. If you meet her and you want to give her $1 million, if that's going to make you happy, do that, man.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody tell you what's going to make you happy. Do what makes you happy. I like cars. My wife likes shoes. People collect stamps, baseball cards, records, like Ralph. Whatever you like to do, do it. Don't think anybody else is going to be able to make you happy with what they do. You feel me, Mickey?
That's right.
You wake up and life pass you by, and then you upset. It's like, wow, what did I do in my life?
The goal in life, really, hopefully, here's just two problems in life. One is you need money. Okay. I tell people money is life tokens. People have a hate for the word, I need money. Let's look at life as an amusement park. The world is an amusement park, and it's got rides. They got the house ride. They got the apartment ride. They got the boat ride. You might want to get in the jet ride. But it costs an amount of tokens. They got food, good food, cheap food. Nobody's going to give you their fucking tokens. You're going to have to get your own tokens to get on the rides. I might let you ride with me on one of my tokens, right? But you ain't taking my car. So we all have to go out and find ways to gain these life tokens that allow us to live whatever life we want. Yeah. Now, the key to the game is if you can find something you enjoy doing and get the tokens, then you win in both ways.
There it is.
Because you don't want to get all the tokens, and then after you get all your tokens, the park's closed. It's like you can't get on the ride.
Park ain't never closing. See, that's another thing. The park ain't never closing, player. Don't worry about that, big nigga. If you 95.
But if you might make it, you might not make it to 95.
If you 95 and hit the lotto, nigga, that'll be the best day of your life. You'll be a 95-year-old motherfucker going crazy than a motherfucker. Let me tell you, no matter when it comes, it'll be all right.
Exactly.
Park don't close. Like I told my son that. I said, Cancun don't close. Vegas don't close. New York don't close. It will always be there. Get what you got to get out of life so you can enjoy it. It's not going nowhere. Miami ain't going nowhere. We used to live there together. Yeah. It's still there.
It's still there.
Vegas ain't closing.
Cracking. It's cracking. But right now we doing the podcast. It's all that shit is not going nowhere. But the money is. So you got to get your hustle up and make sure
absolutely.
You know, and also it allows you to take care of people. So, oh, well, that's greedy and that's bad. I'm like, shit. You need money for health. You need money to send your kids to school. You need money for a lot, and if you got a lot, you can help other people with it. So the theory of you don't need to get paid, that's some bullshit. That's only taught by people that already got it and want some of yours. They like, you don't need money. You don't worry about that, Ralph. Just give me those archives for the cause. You know, and they're going to run off and get it. But the final, yeah, you don't need
You
that.
keep it real.
No, let me tell you something. My Jewish attorney told me a long time ago, he said, never be afraid to ask for your fee. He said, never be afraid, because when you don't, you're the exception to the rule, because they definitely are going to ask for their fee. Okay, so that's it. And we segued into capitalism, but basically, go ahead, enjoy your life, because nobody can do that for you but you. And this is the Final Level Podcast. We about to sign off. Ralph McDaniels, say peace to the people.
Peace, peace, peace. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man. Good to see LaVaba, man, and always good to see you and Mick, man.
Always love, baby. LaVaba?
Love, man. It's family, man. This is family time. Get to see
well,
Ralph.
Guess what?
Hang
Wait a
with
minute.
you guys all
what's
the time.
Vaba's daughter? What's your name?
That's Tabia.
She's in here just for beauty. She's just here just looking pretty.
Came to light up the place.
That's Miss Tabia Nicole.
That's pretty. That's beautiful. Hey, so Mickey, man, we just want to thank all the listeners and subscribe to the podcast. Stay down with it. And we love y'all out there. We out of here like what?
We stole something.
Peace.
Be good.
That's how I'm living. That's how I'm living. That's how I'm living. That's how I'm living. That's how I'm living.